Dr. Aris S. Barago is a principal to Atlaman-based School Fisheries at Gumatal, Quezon. He is a graduate of Bachelor of Science in Secondary Education, major in General Science in 2002 at Sacred Heart College, Lucena City, where he also obtained his Master's of Arts of Education, major in Physical Science in 2010 at the same institution. He finished his Doctor of Philosophy major in Educational Management at Southern Luzon State University in 2016, and currently he is now on earning his second Doctor of Philosophy in Development Studies at University of the Philippines, Las Bañas, Laguna, under DepEd Region 4, a scholarship program. He is also holder of a following certification license: CSE Sub-Professional, Professional Level, Licensure Examination for Professional Teachers, Principal's Test, Career Executive Service Examination or CESWE, Test the Trainer's Methodology Certificate 1 holder, and C1 and 2 in Automated Servicing, of various engagement as evaluator, panelist, research speaker, facilitator, technical working committee member, and research presenter across the national, regional, and divisions level. A member of Division Fact-Finding and Formal Investigation of DepEd Quezon. A loving husband to his wife and a father of 3 to beautiful children. Let us welcome, ladies and gentlemen, please join me welcoming Dr. Aris Barago.
Thank you, Ma'am Charlotte. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Renato Salcedo, to our MCs, Sir Woodward and Sir Ron, and of course to Frederick for inviting me here. So when Frederick invited me, I always say yes to him because he is a good friend of mine. So without further ado, let me share my screen. Can you see my screen now? Moms and sirs? Hello?
Yes po, sir.
Yes, thank you so much. So today I will be discussing about school-based management of resources. And as you can see, school-based management is, of course, practiced everywhere. And the time of our secretary, Leonor Briones, who happened to be also a good financial manager, is always saying that school-based management should be practiced at DepEd. Hence, we always adapt and practice what she said. So for today, we will be discussing about school-based management of resources. And of course, the main topic here is school-based management. And I aligned my talk to your course, EDM 312, Financing Educational Systems. And I think this is part of a webinar series. So, hi friends! Again, good morning, Dr. Renato Salcedo, Mr. Frederick P. Obniala, and EDM 312 students of Pangasinan State University. So this is the advantage of a virtual presentation. You can reach everyone, anywhere, anytime. For the objectives, I will define the school-based management, discuss the SBM Conceptual Framework, identify the components of access, which means a child and community-centered education system, and explain the access principles, share best practices in school-based management of resources. So from time to time, I will be talking about SBM, access, and I think these terms are also familiar to you. So school-based management is the decentralization of decision-making authority to schools. So it is all common to us that when we say decentralization, definitely the chief or the head or the school head, as defined in the role, is that he is the one who anchored and who is the master of the ship. But of course, talking about the schools, it is the school head. In the Philippines, we have different meaning when we say school head. When we say school head, he can be a teacher who is assigned as a teacher in charge. He can be a head teacher, which ranks from head teacher 1, 2, and 3. So you can be handling a school if you are given the rank head teacher 1, head teacher 2, or head teacher 3. And that is for the case of elementary schools. Because in the secondary schools, head teachers are handling different departments such as science department, English department, or mathematics department. So that is for head teachers in the secondary level. Or you can be a principal 1. For the setup in the Philippines, we have principal 1, principal 2, 3, and 4. Just like me, I am handling a position, principal 2. And I've been principal 1 for almost 5 years. And sooner will be principal 3 or principal 4. And that is the hierarchy. So let's think it over. I think Sir Ron, can you help me facilitate this question? Maybe you can read the answers of our participants coming in. So let's have this one. You can type in your answers, and Sir Ron will help us facilitate your answers. How is decentralization practiced in your school? So can you cite activities or programs or projects that you are doing that exemplifies decentralization? So can I see your answers? Yeah, we have answers coming here. Misinformation, that is an answer by Frederick. Especially we have teachers or administrators coming from different countries. Can you cite your examples? How is decentralization practiced in your school? Yeah, delegating work, shared decision making, shared governance, shared accountability. I think, Sir Ron, I will just read.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Crafting of SIP, yeah, that's very timely. Are there other answers? So, from Sir Jomar, crafting of, from Ma'am Mary Jane, delegation, shared governance, shared responsibility, and accountability. From Sir Jomar, identifying the work and financial plan. So, there are so many answers. Thank you for participating. The schools is a bigger decision making in Republic Act 9155. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, thank you for answering. We have questions later. Yung mga nagsagot, very good kayo sa participation. Thank you so much. So, decentralization is practiced in your school as suppose you have answered. And school-based management underscores the empowerment of the stakeholders in school communities to enable them to actively participate in the continuous improvement of schools towards the attainment of higher pupil-student learning outcomes. If you will be teaching in Japan, this is called Kaizen. Kaizen means continuous improvement. If you will be working in a company, just like me, I have worked at Mitsubishi Motors for almost 5 years, and I am part of the quality circle, or what we call the Kaizen team. of the school. We usually suggest improvement either in the production level, in the marketing level, which just promotes productivity and increase in sales. So in the school level, we can say that stakeholders are free to participate and to suggest improvement, of course, towards the attainment of higher pupil student learning outcomes. And of course, that is the main objective of what we are doing for the students. So I have here another let's think it over question. How does your school empower key stakeholders? This is the next question. How does your school empower key stakeholders or key school stakeholders? Okay, I will be waiting for your answers. How does your school empower key stakeholders? By involving them in planning sessions, involving them in decision making, needs assessment, planning and participation. Thank you, Sir Cyrus, Ma'am AJ. Transparency of information. Very good. You're using your experience and your knowledge of what's happening in the school. Thank you so much. Involvement in school. So let them decide on some matters regarding learners by Ma'am Maria Elena. Involvement in school activities and transparency and other issues in school. Encouraging participation in all events by Ma'am Michelle. Plan and support them from Ma'am Venus. Thank you so much. Community and development. That's also correct. Because as we know, the school is really a community of learners, building trust among stakeholders. Oh, that's amazing. Other answers? Thank you, Ma'am Brittany. Yan. From Ma'am Lisa, active participation by empowering the key stakeholders in school. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's hear other answers from my next Let's Think It Over portion. So to continue, school-based management encompasses the diverse realities of learning context and uniquely occurring within specific geographical, social, cultural, economic, political, and environmental makeup of the contemporary society. I have been a school head for almost 8 years now, and I have experienced being a school head in 2 different municipalities. In Mauban, Quezon, usually, because this is near Tayabas, near Lucena, they have this practice of usually drinking after work. They have this tradition of drinking Nipa wine or coconut wine. And so if you are a school head and you will be part of the planning and the community will be inviting you, for sure there will be issues, there will be concerns that will be addressed to you once you join their drinking sessions. And basically, if you are a no drinker or a suplado type of person, then people will not go to your office because they want to lobby these questions after work. So that is I think a culture, a social phenomena. But in Gumaka, where I am a school head now, usually they are aggressive in addressing issues and concern. Specifically, I go to the office at 8, at 7, they are waiting for me to address concerns pertaining to students. So they are really head-on asking questions, on making suggestions. So this is diverse. We have two different municipality in the same province, but they have different approaches in addressing problems, concerns. So that can be cultural. And in Mauban, since Mauban is a well-to-do municipality, because we have, of course, the Mauban Quezon Power Limited. Once you said to the mayor that we need printers, we need a bunch of bond paper, then it will be given to you. But now, since I am on a different municipality, things have changed. So that's really a diverse situation. So considering these things, I have another question for all of you. What geographic, social, cultural, economic, political, and environmental makeup of your school is unique? You can cite only one. It can be geographic, social, cultural, economic, political, and environmental as well. You can type in your answers now. So, what geographic, social, cultural, economic, political, and environmental makeup of your school is unique? So the question is now leveling up. You have to discern, you have to reflect on what makes your school unique. Oh, yan. Giving them chance to sell their products. Ma'am Michelle said that there is cultural diversity, which is correct. Students who are part of the Hill tribe, it makes culture diverse. Yeah, that's correct. And from Sir Ronald, people in their school are transparent. Yeah, political. Especially here in the Philippines. It's very political. It's social. Yan. So, cultural activities. So, Mambinos promote critical thinking skills. Well, that's a good practice where students are taught to practice critical thinking skills. Aside from doing rote memory. So, Frederick, diverse community in our school is a Catholic school. Most students and non-teaching are mostly comprises of Thai. And there is difference in terms of religion. Thank you, Frederick. Thank you. In terms of political in Thailand, it's a sensitive issue. Wow. So, you better watch out for your words for sure. And what is your political view, specifically if you are a teacher or an administrator? Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you. Okay, I think answers are not coming in. I will proceed with my discussion. By the way, thank you for typing in your answers. So this will make our interaction great, and I can see your point of view also. Okay. So this is the SBM Conceptual Framework. If you can see in the SBM Conceptual Framework, at the center is, of course, the functionally literate citizen. And within this are, of course, the processes: plan, assess, accredit, evaluate, monitor, implement the structure. And we have the pillars of SBM: leadership and governance, curriculum and learning, K-12, accountability and continuous improvement, and our focus for today, resource management. And we have, of course, the BESRA, or the Basic Education Sector Reform Agenda. Now we have the DepEd Educational Plan, the DEDP. And of course, these are coming from the central region division all the way down to the school. And all of this are, of course, under one DepEd vision, mission, goals. So to discuss deeply the framework, the framework is systems oriented. It means all the parts are connected and interconnected, and they affect each other. It presents the envisioned product of SBM and the inputs and processes needed to come up with the product. The envisioned product is of course a functionally literate citizen. And according to Republic Act 9155, this defines this citizen as one who is self-reliant, productive, and patriotic. In addition, the Constitution mandates that he or she should be science and technologically oriented. So based on that discussion, my question is, of course, this is a broad question, and I think all of you have answers for this. Let's think it over. What is education? What is schooling? So I'll be waiting for your answers now. Yan, even Buddhist, Thai students and teachers, they practice Roman Catholic. So for my next question, what is education? What is schooling? They are really reflecting on this basic question. And sometimes, these basic questions are the most difficult to answer. Diba? Yan. From Ma'am Shali, education is a continuous process. Yeah. Education is Kaizen, continuous improvement. Education is lifelong. Schooling is time-bound. Yan. So there's a difference. Wherein education is lifelong. We are all lifelong learners. And of course, schooling is time-bound. And for Sir Jomar, learning takes place. Yan. Thank you for your short but meaty answers. Education is an investment. Yes, in terms of economic point of view, education is really an investment. Education is an integral part of one's nation. Yan. From Sir Ron, education is systematic instruction. Yan. Education is acquired anywhere and everywhere. Yan. Education is acquiring new skills and understanding. Wow, thank you. I think everyone typed in their answer. Schooling is the training ground. Yeah, that's correct. Yan. So, education is a lifelong process. Schooling is formalized element of education. From Ma'am Julie, education involves the formal and informal ways of acquiring knowledge, while schooling stands for the main and secondary stage of formal education that takes place in the school. Wow, you have very good answers, and I think you have reflected well on the meaning of these two words. And as I have said, really, these are simple questions, but this really needs a lot of thinking. Education is an important tool to everybody's life. Wow. Sabi nga, just like the question, yes and no are the oldest and simplest word, but they require the most thought, di ba? Schooling is a process of education, and according to Sir Ronald, I think it's part of the educational process, schooling. So, thank you for your answers, and I really enjoyed reading your answers, and you are a bunch of geniuses in terms of analyzing and defining education. So this is my answer for that question. Education is something worthwhile, not mere acquisition of skills, but involves transformation, something learners opt into. So when we say education, it is not just when we acquire skills, but it is our transformation. And of course, it is something that we opt into and something that we chose for. It is education. And education is, of course, in the utilitarian point of view, is to serve the society, improve economic and industrial growth, and consequently, the contentment of the populace. So if all the people in the world are educated, then there will be contentment and there will be improvement for sure in the economic and industrial arena. In the utilitarian perspective, and of course we have theories here on the neoclassical theories and all others relative to economics. And again, the SBM Conceptual Framework, the output is a result of an interactive and collective problem-solving process that continuously raises the level of SBM practice until it culminates in the accreditation of the school. So later on, I will be answering the objectives which I have captured earlier. And the process is enhanced and facilitated by a self-managing, self-renewing learning community that assumes responsibility for a basic education of all types of learners. So when you say self-managing, then the people are empowered, is self-renewing, so feedback mechanisms are allowed, and that everyone is part of the learning community. Sabi nga sa Tagalog, pare-parehas tayong nagplano, sama-sama tayong gumawa ng plano at nagsuggest, nagbigay ng mga interventions, ng mga solutions, then sama-sama rin nating mararating yung objective natin. Hindi pwede na isa lang ang nagplano at pagdating doon, idadamay mo yung iba, di ba? So the context of SBM is the school learning community itself to which the learner belongs. An intensive situational analysis of factors that impact learning is done to develop an educational plan that is responsive to contextual issues, problems, challenges, threats, and opportunities. That is why we all know that the SWOT analysis is an important tool in conducting interventions or in answering problems and issues relative to threats and challenges. Sabi nga, wag na natin gamitin masyado yung term na problems because when we say problems, it's always with us. But when you say challenges, when we are challenged, we are being we are tasked to look for solutions, and that when we are challenged, we tend to be stronger and wiser. And of course, we have the central office, the regional office, and the division office to provide technical, professional, and administrative support and also oversee that policies are being observed, standards are being met, and programs are being implemented. So in the division level, we all know that they have divided the task assigned for personnel. We have the CID, the Curriculum Implementation Division, and of course the SGOD, the Schools Governance Operations Division. That is the setup for the Philippines, wherein the education program supervisors are in charge in managing the curriculum vis-a-vis the subject area, and the School Governance Operations is the support system to the Curriculum Implementation Division. So here are some pictures of division and regional personnel giving technical assistance to our school. And of course, the boundary of the system denotes openness to inputs from the external environment as well as a resistance to change that may injure its systematic integrity and stability. And schools must allow the framework to continuously morph and develop on the basis of its experience to meet the emerging needs of the learning community. And again, I have this question to all of you. What are the challenges that you have encountered for the past 2 years as an education specialist, teacher, master teacher, school head, or supervisor? Okay? I'll be waiting for your answers now. Saan ko siya itatago? Dito na lang. What are just challenges that you have encountered for the past 2 years as an education specialist? Yan. Limited number of SLMs. The learning gaps. Yan. Included yan sa learning gaps yung mga learning loss. Yan. Pagpasok ng estudyante, nahihirapang bumasa. Yan. Nahihirapang magsulat. Yan. And they lack the motor skills. Yan. So student, yan. Miscommunication, limited resources. That's correct. Due to the pandemic. Thank you, Ma'am Maria Elena. Other answers. Challenges. Yan, miscommunication. Poor reading proficiency, Ma'am Juliper. That's correct. Difficulty in reaching the learners. That's also correct because teachers are tasked to do so many things. Yan. Inadequate financial support for resources in Thailand. Is there a lack of interest in English to make it more appealing to them? Thank you, Sir Woodward. Overuse of technology in terms of copying information. So, the answers are not so valid. Lack of focus of students. Yeah, because of so many distractions. Yan. Unequal distribution of teaching periods. Many students are not independent enough to study. Yan, paying internet bills, no failing policy, the mass promotion, as we said in the Philippines. Yan. Fake news, that's also correct. Yung mga marites, lack of proper HR, yan, human resource management, that's correct. Inadequate resources for the printing of SLMs. And many other factors which we can see as challenges or any other answers. Covering workloads for teachers who are always absent. Yan. So, Ma'am Shali, yeah, that's correct. So, nakarelate si Sir Woodward. Siguro, lagi siyang na-assign dun sa mga earring teachers. Budget is reallocated for pandemic, COVID. Yan, too much paperwork. Palakasan system. Yeah. Kaya sometimes it's called sports within the education system kasi palakasan. Personnel's health, behavior of learners, yan. Same is true here. Delayed salaries, talking alone, online class, salaries, yan. And hybrid teaching online and on-site at the same time. That's correct. Because if you are doing the modules, sometimes there are students who are also online, so you will be doing at the same time. Racism in school and remote learning. Difficulty of promotion. Teachers are undercompensated. So let's pray and hope that teachers will be compensated well come next administration. Thank you. Your answers are well taken. And I am digesting it now for further discussion. So, you can type in your answers as long as you want for this. Sige. More prone to COVID kasi si kids gala ng gala tapos si teacher nasa bahay lang. Yan, Sir Woodward, that's correct. Thank you so much. Okay, so for that let's think it over portion. So these are the guiding principles of assessment system. So those are of course the importance of the SBM, and we have the guiding principles: leadership and governance, curriculum and learning, accountability and continuous improvement, and of course the last one, management of resources. So when we say access, it is a child and community-centered education system. And of course, this one is strengthening the practice of school-based management. So for each principle, when you say leadership and governance, it is a network of leadership that provides the vision and direction to the education system, making it relevant and responsive to the context of diverse communities. It is also about nourishing sustainable partnerships to harness education goals and resources. So as school head, as educational leaders, we need to address the diverse communities. Yan. Gaya na, yung mga non-native speakers. So, dapat meron tayong mga programs to enhance speaking of English and communication. And then sustainable partnerships to harness education goals and resources. Later on, I will be discussing strategies which I have practiced and done relative to the challenges that you have, of course, exhibited. Next is curriculum and learning. The learning systems collaboratively developed and continuously improved and anchored in the community and learners' context and aspirations. So I think for us teachers, we have less problems in terms of curriculum and learning because we are used to play with the curriculum. We are used to localization, indigenization, and all others. For accountability and continuous improvement, it is a clear, transparent, inclusive, and responsive accountability system which is in place, collaboratively developed by community stakeholders, which monitors expected and actual performance, continuously addresses the gaps, and ensures a venue for feedback and redress. So as school heads, as teachers, of course, we are accountable for the learning of our students, and that we should always practice continuous improvement. And the last one, management of resources. Resources are collectively and judiciously mobilized and managed with transparency, effectiveness, and efficiency. So much for the discussion on SBM, and as it is aligned on somehow on the management of resources. So I will be sharing to you now the actual practices and best practices which I have done as a school head, as a principal, and here are they. So the first one is educate yourself. Learn the economics of education. As a principal, you should not let yourself stagnant. Meron ngang saying, sabi, a rolling stone gathers no moss. A rolling stone gathers no moss. So if you are the stone, if you will stay input, steady, then you will gather moss, and soon you will be turned into sand. But if you keep on rolling and you keep on removing the moss around you, then you will be a very fine stone. And that is educating. So continue to study, continue to, as what you are doing. After finishing your first PhD from Pangasinan State University, take another PhD, then another one, take law, continue studying, go to UPOU, continue reading. And in terms of management of resources, you also need to learn the economics of education. As a school leader, you have to be knowledgeable on how to relate your inputs to education as per the return of investment. And if you will convert in the economic lens, we, the schools, we, the teachers, are the supplier of education. And the community, the students, of course, they are the recipients. And we all know that in economics, it is the management of scarce resources. So in this time of pandemic, wag na muna magkapintura ng school, wag na muna magpa-repair ng mga hindi naman masyadong kailangan kasi mahalaga ang modules. 'Diba? So, prioritize the important ones. And kung kayang mamaluktot, mamaluktot muna. Kasi what is important is to prioritize delivering and continuing education to our learners. So, educate yourself. You have to memorize by heart Republic Act 9184. Yan. That's basic. Me, as a part of the legal team of DepEd Quezon, I am part of the Formal Investigation Committee and Fact-Finding Investigation. We have so many cases pertaining to the misuse of MOOE. And many school heads and sometimes head teachers are formally charged because of their lack of knowledge in the proper use of MOOE. And their gross abuse of not following Republic Act 9184. You can also read the Financial Management Operation Manual. So these are things that you have to learn as future principal, as future school heads, or at current maybe you have that capacity. You have to continuously read and read. Next, keep yourself updated. Download and read the latest issuances. Sometimes your basis may be a DepEd order which was already repealed. Then if you will be doing that one, then your practice is not of the latest, is not based on the latest issuances. Next one, you must have a mentor. A mentor is a lifelong mentor, someone who will help you, someone who will teach you and guide you along the way. As a school head, as a teacher, all of us have a mentor. And this is very important. Practice transparency. Even a cent should be posted on the transparency board of the school. There should be a regular financial report in every meeting. What has transpired, what has been used. So practice transparency. If you are transparency in all your dealings pertaining the use of resources, the teachers will be at ease and they will have no doubts in you as a school head. Always act collaboratively, and in this time of pandemic, this is very important because when you act collaboratively, you talk to the department heads, you talk to the teacher and ask for their input, for their suggestion, then projects and priority improvement areas in the schools can be addressed. And search out for solutions, benchmark, adapt solutions and innovations. Maybe some schools have this innovation, maybe you can adapt, you can change a little and you can use, maybe you can read articles with better solutions, then you can adapt, you can use that one to solve challenges emerging in your school. Likewise, there should be equity in decision making. Always remember that when you decide, there are some people who are affected and sometimes who are not included in the planning process, or might not be sometimes it might, or activities or output or outcome might not be beneficial to them. So always consider equity in decision making. And another thing, you should also decide on sound data. This is basically what happened if you will be given a technical assistance. You are asking for a technical assistance from the proper authority, but then when you ask for such assistance, you should have your sound data. What is the ratio of the learning modules as to student? What is the enrollment rate? What is the dropout rate? What is the graduation rate? All of this should be on your data bank. It should be memorized by heart. Then, adhere with the school's SIP, AIP, and work and financial plan. I don't know what is this called in other countries, but in the Philippines, we have the SIP. the school improvement plan, the annual implementation plan, and the work and financial plan. If you adhere to these documents, then you can also avoid legal problems if there will be charges against you. Always remember that in the legal discourse, when you are charged, the one who's charging you has the burden of evidence, and therefore they should prove well that you are not following. But if you have this SIP, AIP, and work and financial plan, you are safe. And if you follow them, then you are in the right track. Next, establish local funds. In our school, we have, of course, a 10-hectare land, and we have partnership with PNU and other agricultural partners, and we till the land, and we have, of course, local funds to support the printing of modules. The question is, what if we don't have that type of land? Then you can maybe practice vertical gardening, or what are the assets of your school? Let's say you are a school which has automotive technology, then maybe you can do basic troubleshooting for the community, or teach them on that you can have local funds. So we are an agri-fishery school, and we are lucky for having that. But you can also establish local funds by thinking of other activities. You can do, now it's open, you can do fun run, you can do basketball tournament, you can do pageants, and all other activities wherein you can establish local funds to support the use of MOOE. And build strong partnership. Engage local partners on their core business. This is the problem with looking for local partners, diba? You will be asking furniture shop for bond paper. No, you should ask furniture shop for use wood, so that you can transform them into tables and chairs that students at their home who lack the space in answering the module can be given such tables and chairs. So don't ask for furniture shop or bond papers unless they are, of course, a local bookstore or a supplier of school supplies. So if we have partners who owns restaurant, then we can partner them for feeding programs and all others. So build strong partnerships, and don't forget to secure the memorandum of agreement and memorandum of understanding, and that is what we are doing now. If you lack mentors or tutors, you can partner with different institution. Just like in our school, we are near Lopez Quezon, we are near PNU, PUP, and of course local private colleges. We partner with them, and they are very willing to help, since these universities and these local colleges also have can be part of their community extension services, and that will be beneficial to both parties. Next, train your staff, delegate, monitor, and continuously capacitate. You are not Superman, we are not Wonder Woman, we are not superheroes who can do everything. So we have to train our staff, delegate, monitor, and continuously capacitate them, so that work will be easier. And while they are doing our part, or while we have delegated this task to them, we can work on other tasks, such as looking for partners and engaging in other activities, as to monitoring of curriculum as per instruction. Because as instructional leaders, 70% of our work is in ensuring that learning happens. And that you can also develop a strategic communication plan at the school or community level, And this communication plan answers the challenges addressed, that there is always miscommunication at the school level. Sometimes it happened also in the division, regional, and national level. So develop strategic communication plan at the school. In our school, we have the SMIS, the School Management Information System, where all the data are being stored. Telephone numbers of all concerned personnel and teachers are being put into, and we have this plan of communication wherein if no one is available, then who's to answer. Yan. And what are the protocols involving such communication plan? So, going back, masyado ako mabilis. Kinapture ko tong webinar objective. So, the purpose is, of course, to have the comprehensive guide on the school-based management. I think I have answered this one because I have provided with you with the meaning and the framework. School-based management, I think I have already discussed this one, and advantages. And I think for the advantages of the school-based management, having the school-based management will of course involve all the stakeholders, and the delivery of education services is very collaborative. Next, how does school-based management affect the roles of the school board and the superintendent and the district office? Well, it will affect them. Basically, they will have less task on delivering time to time questions, and it will be easy for them to monitor, since these are delegated to the school, and the superintendent will of course just monitor the performance indicators based on, basically what we are doing is we have quarterly meeting, or what we call huntahan, with our superintendent. And for the school board, data will be at hand, because school-based management is also part of the documentation process, and that it is very easy to monitor, and that there will be support system along the way. How are budget decision made? In DepEd, what we are doing is we have two setup. In DepEd, we have the implementing unit. Just like in our school, we are implementing unit. We receive directly the money, the MOOE from the DBM, while for the non-implementing unit, they are receiving the money through the division offices. And for the budget decision made, I think I have answered that one. We have the SIP, the AIP, and Work and Financial Plan. It is based on the PIA, the Priority Improvement Areas, which are translated into the Annual Implementation Plan based on the vision, mission sharing, and of course collaboration with stakeholders. Thus, decision made is not just solely by the school head, but all the stakeholders concerned. How are decisions made at the school level? So decisions at the school level are collaborative, and it is not decided by the principal alone. What is necessary when implementing school-based management? So again, when we say what is necessary, the most important thing is of course the key persons for the school-based management, and that you can assign key personnel for the different areas, so that they will be the one who will document and at least conduct evaluation on a quarterly basis. And what are the liabilities of SBM? This is the main critic of SBM. Some documents are asked in one pillar, at the same time it will be asked in the second pillar. I think that is these are redundant processes for SBM. Likewise, SBM is also document based, and I think we can convert this to a more systematic online system. That is my suggestion only. Where has school-based management been implemented? In the Philippines, it is implemented until now And since 1995, school-based management has been implemented and it has been part of our school systems even today. And it is implemented in all public, secondary, elementary, and integrated schools all throughout the Philippines. Why assess the school-based management practices? Assess the school-based management practices since the level of practice should continuously improve. Yan. What is the matrix or scale of practice? It is based on developing level 1 and then level 2 until level 3. Ito na yung expert level. Who answers the tools? So, who answers the tools? Of course, the key persons assigned for each area, but then the matrix and the evidences, what we call the MOBs, are being collected and is being scaled all throughout the validation process in the school level. Of course, the one who finalized that one is the school head. And it is also validated in the district level. If you will be going to level 3, then it is validated by the regional office. So I think I have answered all the questions. So always remember, when everything is uncertain, everything that is important becomes clear. And we as teachers, we as educators, we are all certain and we are clear that what is important is the education of our learners. At naniniwala po ako na ngayong Independence Day, kung tayo po ay 32 dito sa ating webinar na to, naniniwala ako sa sinabi ni General Luna, General Antonio Luna, na ang kalaban natin ay hindi ang mga Amerikano, kundi ang ating mga sarili. Kaya marami po tayong magagawa para sa ating bayan, para mapaunlad ito, at mabago pa ang mga dapat nating baguhin at ma-address ang mga challenges in terms of education. And as my commercial, I am also a blogger. I'm holding a 5.7 subscribers. I'm doing reviews for principal's test, food and travel blogs, and other discussions on relative DepEd orders, memorandum to keep all educators updated in the Philippines. So you can subscribe. Click this red button. You can subscribe and be part of my growing community of learners, and you can be part of the change. So thank you so much. Good day, and again, thank you for inviting me. Thank you so much. I love you all.
Thank you very much, Dr. Aris, for that. We learned a lot from you. Thanks for reminding us that managing school encompasses diverse realities of learning contexts, and that we must learn to empower stakeholders, and we learn to manage them properly as well. And we learn a lot from you, Doc. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Dr. Aris. And now, to award the certificate of recognition, may I call in one of the BMA or Bangkok Metropolitan Administration teacher and also one of the EDD students. Please welcome Ma'am Normalisa Valenzuela.
Pleasant morning to everyone, especially to our dear professors and guest speakers. On behalf of Doctor of Education students, I would like to congratulate our esteemed resource speaker, Sir, for the very informative and enlightening talk on school-based management resources. With profound appreciation of your time and maximum effort, allow me to present the Certificate of Recognition. Republic of the Philippines, Pangasinan State University, Open University Systems, Lingayen, Pangasinan. Certificate of Recognition. This is presented to Dr. Aris S. Barago in recognition for his expertise and dedication as resource speaker during the webinar series on EDM 312 Financing Educational System, sponsored by the student of the Doctor of Education, major in Educational Management, Open University Systems, Pangasinan State University, awarded this 12th day of June 2022, held via Zoom virtual conferencing. Signed by Dr. Renato E. Salcedo, EDM 312 Professor, PSUOUS, Dr. Erna M. Salazar, Deputy Director for Academics Research and Extension, PSUOUS, and Dr. Philip G. Carada, Executive Director, PSU Open University System. Sir, we surely gain knowledge and understanding of the topic. Once again, thank you very much.
Thank you so much po. Deeply appreciated. Thank you so much. God bless and keep safe everyone.